Right. Now already we have discussed political environment. We have already discussed political environment. You see, now our topic is, you know that that is competency to business environment. Competency to business environment, and then already we have discussed. Yes, we have discussed two factors, macro environmental factors. First one is political environment. The other one is legal environment. The other one is legal environment. As a summary of the lesson that we have learned last week, you know that already. You see, business environment can be categorized into two categories, namely what we call internal environment and external business environment. And also we understand that internal business environment can be controllable, as well as by studying the internal business environment, a businessman can recognize or study weaknesses as well as what we call strengths. Weaknesses are what we call negative or unfavorable factors that are affected to business, and then strengths are what we call favorable, positive factors that affect the business. So that by studying the internal business environment, we can minimize weaknesses, and we can strengthen our strengths or the business strengths, and the business is able to achieve the target by minimizing and strengthening minimizing weaknesses and strengthening strengths. That is why a businessman need to study the internal business environment. Now, external business environment is concerned, we already learned. You see the business environment, which is, you see factors that affect outside the business. Now, this external business environment normally is, you see, the external business environment cannot be controlled by the business, because though they affect the business, they are externally affecting the business. So that external business environment is concerned, we know that, you see, different environmental factors are there. Then we already learned political environment and then legal environment. Those two factors we have discussed. Then how political environment affect the business externally. And then by studying the external business environment, a businessman can study, then you see opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats. Opportunities are favorable, and then positive factors affecting the business, yet they cannot be controlled by the business. Yet they cannot be controlled by the business. Threats are unfavorable and then negative towards the business, so that even threats cannot be controlled by the business. By studying the external business environment, the businessman can avoid threats and grabs opportunities. Opportunities can be grabs. So that is why a business person should study the business environment. So that, once again, I'm explaining the business environment should be known by a businessman, especially to identify strengths and weaknesses of internal business environment, and to identify opportunities and threats in the external environment. That is what, this is a simple summary of what we learned last week. Right, now look at that. We have been discussing political environment and then legal environment. Right, then now we are going to move on. You see, legal environment is concerned, Company Act number, you see the you see laws and regulations related to legal environment. You know that Companies Act number 7 of 2007, and then you know that companies should be commenced or incorporated under this act. And then there is another one, Consumer Affairs Authority Act number 9 of 2003. Now, as consumers, you and I can get some helps when we are doing business activities if there are some trading malpractices in the business world. And then Shop and Office Employees Act number 14 of 1954. Now, this is also related law regarding business environment. In addition, you can discuss about Business Names Act number 6 of that is 1980, and then you see Partnership Ordinance. That type of laws and regulations are there with regard to legal environment. Right. Let's look at that. You see, now here you see example, the following are some designations and institutions appointed to enact these laws and regulations. Now you see, look at the designations and some departments or institutions that regulates these laws and regulations. Register of Companies. You see, please write now the question. Let's discuss another question. We are discussing questions and answers, so that is why we are developing the subject matters. Right now, please take out this question. Name some designations and institutions appointed to enact some laws and regulations. Now separate into two parts. In this way, you can separate in two parts. Here, please write designation. Here, related law. Here you can write as designation. In this part, you can write as designation. Here, related law. Is separated into two parts, to page, so that we can write separately. Designation. Right. Take out the first one. Company registrar. Here you see company registrar. Registrar of companies or company registrar. Please write here in this side. Enact Companies Act number 7 of 2007. Companies Act number, here you see Companies Act number 7 of 2007. Now just try to understand. You see that it is the company registrar that control and implements the Companies Act number 7 of 2007. You see, the company registrar is enacting or monitoring and supervising and implementing the Companies Act number 7 of 2007. Next one, Consumer Affairs Authority. Second designation or institution, Consumer Affairs Authority. In Sinhala we call Pariboka Katayutu Adhikari. Now just remember, if a consumer facing, don't write it down, even if any consumer facing a trading malpractice in the market when he is doing some business activities in the market, now he can get the support of the Consumer Affairs Authority. Now you see there are some business people, they sell products for high prices, more than the prices you see set in the sometimes you see the label of the product. You see they are violating what you call the minimum or maximum retail price, or if there are some, you see some, there are measurement problems, and then you see some business people are selling inferior products, inferior low quality products, you see, cheating the customers, or this you see cheating the customers. In such occasion, any customer can go to the Consumer Affairs Authority and make a complaint against the injustice made by the business people. So that is why if any customer, when he is doing marketing, if any customer is facing a problem, he can get some solutions or justification from the Consumer Affairs Authority. Understand? So that just try to keep it in mind. Designation is Consumer Affairs Authority. Related law is write it down, Consumer Affairs Authority Act number 9 of 2003. Related law, here designation is Consumer Affairs Authority. Related law, Consumer Affairs Authority Act number 7 of 2003. The other designation, Labor Court and Labor Tribunal. Now, related law is Shop and Office Employees Act number 14 of 1954. Related law, Labor Tribunal, Labor Court and Labor Tribunal. Right. Now, Labor Court and Labor Tribunal is concerned. Now, you see, there are laborers who are working in factories or working places. Sometimes you see employees are there. Now, when these employees are working in their, you see, employment places, employers or the factory owners, maybe the business owners, may do some injustices. Injustices against the employees. You see, without giving them leaves, without giving them due salaries, sometimes without violating their rights and benefits, violating some rights and benefits of employees. Employees are mistreated by them sometimes. Understand? In such occasion, employees can get the support of this labor court and labor tribunals according to this act, so that some employees have to work overtime without payments. Sometimes they are not given, you see, leaves, or even for they have to work in poor days. You see, in such occasions, they can make complaints, and based on this Shop and Office Employees Act. Understand? Then in this manner, there are some more institutions as well. And then, for example, public health inspector. You see, if there are some, you see, malpractices in, you see, food, in selling food items, you see some health problems, you can go to the public health inspector. You see, related health problems. You see, especially some, you see, you know that there are some occasions where they, business people, don't consider the business, you see, the places, ugly places in that occasion. You can make a complaint against the public health inspector. You see, hotels and, you see, food supplying institute are concerned. Right, I just gave you an example over this. Right, I feel that you can understand that area. Then you see, let's move on to next part. Look at the next part, what we call the other environment. We are going to discuss other environment factor, technological and economic environment. Technological and economic environment. Right, now please write down this question. Explain what technological environment means and give some examples regarding technological environment. Right. Ganpati, now we are going to discuss technological environment. You know that, you see, in this modern business context, you see, technology is highly affecting business work. Look at the idea. The technological environment grows rapidly due to new innovations. Now, these innovations are new things created by human society. The business activities as well as lifestyle of individuals have changed due to changes in the technological factors. Advance in computer technology, advancement in communication technology, due to internet, advancement in production method, due to nanotechnology and digital technology, and in advancement in transportation technology, have significantly changed the business environment. Now, this is the what we call technological environment affected business. So that please write it down. Now, for an answer, what do you mean by this technological environment? Innovations made by human society, such as technological developments, can be treated as technological environment, advancement of computer technology, communication technology, production technology, nano and digital technology will affect businesses. But this is how, so that just try to keep in mind. For example, in our day-to-day activities, we practice online banking, understand online banking, and then you see different type of, internet business activities, e-commerce, online money transfer. All these are related to technology. Use of what we call credit card transactions, debit card transactions, use of what we call now you see mobile marketing. All these are related to what we call technology. Now even this online learning, online teaching, this is also related to. Now you see, now for example, now in the town area, number of tuition halls are there. Now due to this advancement of what we call online learning and teaching, now these owners of the tuition classes, they have to face problem, because most of the teachers as well as most of the students now get used to this online teaching and learning, so that those business institute or private class institute, they are facing problems. They are affected due to this online teaching and learning. Just try to understand. And also in the hotel industry is concerned, and then the other industries are concerned, most of people are doing what we call online trading without going to the physical business places. They order their needs or products online. Now it is affected to business, and also new business areas are developed. Understand? New business situations are developed. Instead of physical business places, online trading, online payment, online trading, online marketing, online ordering. You see, all these are what we call the result of technological development. Understand? These are the result of technological development. Right. This is how we have to identify then you have to identify examples. In the examination paper, there are some situations that you have to understand. Now, if there are some situations are given, you have to identify, separate them into legal environment, political environment, technological environment, separate. What do you, please write it down. What do you mean by economic environment related to business environment? Economic environment related to business environment. Further, name some factor variables regarding economic environment. Name some factor variables. You can visualize the screen and understand what economic environment means. Economic environment consists of economic factors. Look at that, economic factors that affect the business. The government of a country is mainly responsible for setting economic policies, which means, understand? Right. Now, next question. Please write it down. Various economic factors. Various economic factors that affect businesses can be treated as economic environment. Can be treated as economic environment. Right. Now, please write down the factor variables. What are they? Here you see factor variables. Here you can identify factor variables as just try to understand the factor variables. Here, interest rate, please write it down. Interest rate, one factor variable. You see, the banking sector, especially central bank, can increase or decrease the interest rate. Understand? The Central Bank of Sri Lanka can increase or decrease the interest rate. With the increasing or decreasing of interest rate, it will affect the business activities. So that if the interest rate is undergoing any change, it is related to economic environment. The other one is inflation. Look at that. Second one is inflation. Now, inflation in the sense that continuous increase of general price level. If the general price level or normal price level is continuously increasing in the society, in the economy, that is what we call inflation. You see, all the type of goods, prices of goods are continuously increasing for a long period, especially for 10 years. Just try to understand. Now, for your understanding, if the general price level, normal price level is increasing continuously, at least within 10 years, that can be treated as inflation. Understand? All type of goods, prices of goods are increasing. Inflation. Now in Sri Lanka, we are facing this inflationary effect. Now, due to inflation, what happened is that it affects favorably and unfavorably to businesses. Understand? Now, due to inflation, some items, prices of some items increase. Now, for example, you see some raw material items increase. Raw material items prices increase, so that it would disturb the production sector. Understand? And then sometimes you see, due to inflation, imported goods, prices of imported goods will increase. It is unfavorably affect the business sector. And just try to understand, inflation is another economic environmental factor. Here you see, for you understand, inflation is the continuous increase in the general price level of goods and services. The other one is income distribution. Please write it down. Income distribution. Income distribution. Now, any society expects equal income distribution. Equal income distribution. That is one important factor. But now, in the society, if the income distribution is not, occurred equally, there you see some more poor people will be generated in the society. Now, even in Sri Lanka, you see the income distribution gap is expanding day by day. Then more and more rich people are coming in the society, and more poor people are also there in the society. Poor people become poorer. Understand? Due to unequal distribution of income, poor people becomes poorer. Rich people becomes richer and richer. So that it is a, abnormal situation in the society. It is not an equal background in the society. So that it is unjustifiable. Because poor people are unable to satisfy their basic needs. Rich people are excessively consumed. It is also not reasonable in the society. So that income distribution is one criteria of economic environment. Just try to understand. The other one is level of employment. Please write it down. Next one, level of employment. Now, in a society, those people who are able to do a job, those people who are able to do a job should have job opportunities, especially for young people. Especially for young people, they should have employment opportunities. Unless what can happen is that they become disappointed. They become disappointed and creates what we call youth unrest. අපි කියන්නේ තරුණ අසහනය ඇති වෙනවා. තරුණිය අතර ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙනවා. So that all people who expect to do a job should be supplied job opportunities. Unless it would be a social havoc. It would create a social havoc, social disturbance. So that level of employment is also economic environment. If number of people who are able to do a job, if they are not having job opportunities, it creates social problems. Just try to understand. So that is why look at here, it is emphasized that if everyone expecting a job receives a suitable job, a country will achieve a full employment level. If all the people expecting job should be supplied job opportunities, so that it is called full employment. If there is a full employment in the society, it is favorable to the business as well as to the economy. Then the other one is what we call international. Please write down next one. International relations. International relations. Another economic factor. International relations. Another economic factor. Now, this international relation is also related to economic environment. Now, you see, even in Sri Lanka, nowadays, the government of Sri Lanka is facing a problem because of there are some international relation problems. That is why India is selling, you see, some items for high prices. And then USA is disturbing our government activities. And then China is interfering into internal government activities because of what they call our poor international relations. If a country is having very strong international relations, it is favorable. If a country is having poor international relations, it is unfavorable. Understand? So that if we are having some poor international relations, it would badly affect the country and the people of the country. And if we are having strong international relations, it would favorably affect the country and positive to people of the country and to the government. So that you see, developing international relations is favorably affecting business activities. You have to keep it in mind as well. Right, I'll feed that you are able to understand this, what we call economic environment. Economic environment. As you know, already we have discussed, there is another two factor. Look at the other one. Then the other factor, please write it down that as well. Another foreign exchange rate. Look at the next one, foreign exchange rate. Videsha vinimay කටයුතු. Foreign exchange rate. You see, foreign exchange rate means, you see, within Sri Lanka we use rupees and cents, but India uses separate type of currency. China uses separate type of currency. US uses separate US dollars. Australia, Australian dollars. You see, various countries use various currencies for their transactions. Now you see, foreign exchange rate means, you see, when we do international transactions, we create what we call exchange rate between rupee and other currencies. Now, if this foreign exchange rate, nowadays, we have to pay more than 200 rupees per $1. More than 200 rupees per $1. Now what happened is that our rupee value in presence of dollar becomes lower and lower. lower. So that it is serious. It is serious in the sense that when we do foreign transactions, we have to pay more and more rupees to purchase some dollars. So that what happened is that prices of goods once again increase. So that foreign exchange rate should be favorable to the country. Foreign exchange rate nowadays it is not favorable, because you see foreign exchange rate is rapidly increasing. So that what happened is that we have to pay more rupees to purchase some dollars. The value of dollar increased day by day. The value of external value of rupee decreased day by day. What we call depreciate the value of rupee in presence of American dollars. American dollar is appreciating, Sri Lankan rupee is depreciating. Sri Lanka rupee आगे अडुएन विदेशी आगे American dollar आगे වැඩි. Then what happened is that our foreign exchange rate is unfavorable to the country. Then you have, when we purchase something or import from foreign countries, especially when we import oil, wheat, and other imported items, we have to pay more and more rupee values. It is creating a kind of inflation in the country. Yes, the other one is what we call savings. Look at savings related to economic environment. Savings, Iturki. Savings. Now look at that, even these savings are very important. Why? If people are consuming all the, if people are not saving money for future business activities, so future needs, it would be a problem. Because when people save money, they save this money within banking sector. Thereafter, then people are able to, borrow this as loans, and they are able to do business activities. So that, say, if all income of people consume, it creates problems. So that out of earned income, certain amount should be saved by people. Out of earned income, certain amount should be saved by people. So that if saving increases, what happens is that investment increases. Understand? And so that saving is also related to economic environment. So that you have to keep in mind, various factors are there related to economic environment. Inflation may be, and then interest rate may be, savings may be, international relations may be, foreign exchange rate may be. All these are related to economic environment. It is the responsibility of the government to control these factors favorably for business activities. Understand? It is the duty of the government. Now, if the inflation rate is increasing day by day, it is the responsibility of the government to control it. If the foreign exchange rate is appreciating, it is the duty of the government to control it. Understand? Yes. Now let's move on to next one. Global environment. The other one is global environment. Yes. Please write down the next question. What is global environment? What is global environment regarding business environment? Look at that global environment. I'll explain you very simply. You see, now world is globalized now. World is globalized due to this, what you call technological development. Due to technological, especially communication technological development, now the entire world becomes a block or single village. That is why we call the concept of global family, global village, that type of concept developed recent past. Now you see, globalization is the mutual relationship among countries in terms of economic, social, and cultural dimension, which means, now just keep it in mind, countries are socially, culturally, economically, and politically interconnected, socially, and then culturally, and then economically and politically. Countries are interconnected. That is what we call the globalization. Understand? Now you know that if you consider here, now for example, for you understand, here assume that this is the block. So this is, I'm just trying to explain you. Now assume that this is the block. This is the block. Now here, you see there are boundaries in the block. You know that there are boundaries. Some boundaries may be, here you see, that type of boundaries are there. Different type of boundaries are there. These boundaries may be, sometimes economic boundaries. Understand? Economic boundaries may be, or political boundaries may be. Different boundaries are there in the world. Now, these are boundaries. Economic boundaries may be, geographical boundaries may be, political boundaries may be, cultural boundaries may be, social boundaries may be. Whatever the boundary, limitations, countries are limited. You see, countries become isolated due to these reasons. Now, due to globalization, what happened is that due to globalization, all these boundaries disappear. All these boundaries disappear. Now, this is what the shape of the globalization. No any boundary. Now, here you see there are different boundaries. Here in this situation, you can see different boundaries are there, geographical boundaries, economic boundaries, you see social and cultural boundaries are there. In the globalized system, there is no any boundary. You see people are moving here and they are free. Goods and services are moving here and they are free. So that this is what we call the globalization. Understand? You see, people are moving here and they are free. People are, you see, going place to place without any tough boundaries. This is what we call globalization. So that globalization is a new term in this modern context. Just remember. Understand? Now, further explanation. Globalization facilitates the conduct of business activities freely without cross borders, without any limitations or any other restrictions. There are no any restrictions, no any limitations, no any limitations. Due to the development of communication and communication technology, the entire world has now become a single global village. That is what we call global village. All people are living in a small village. Understand? The world becomes more and more close. People becomes more and more close. People becomes more and more closer culturally, politically, socially, in all contexts. That is what we call globalization. Goods and services, labor and capital are moved between countries by reducing the distance among the people in different countries. Therefore, changes in different factors in the global environment will have both positive and negative impacts on the domestic business. Just now, keep it in mind, Bill. Because why? You see this globalization, in one hand, it is favorable to a country. On the other hand, it is unfavorable, negative to a country. Now you see in Sri Lanka, nowadays you can see there are long queues then in presence of foreign employment bureau institutes. Why? Most of young people, they are going out of the country. this is not favorable condition. Just remember, if young people, you see, young bloods, if young people are going out of the country, only old and small children will remain in the country. It is a serious situation. Now you see, most of young people, due to these political upheavals in the country, political disturbances in the country, social disturbances in the country, young people are leaving the country. So that it is not favorable. Because of this globalization, it is unfavorable factor. And also, you know that other cultural values are coming to country, may be favorable and unfavorable. Due to now indigenous, our culture may be spoiled by some cultural invaders. Now this is also unfavorable. So that globalization has some negative factors and positive factors. Globalization has some negative factors and positive factors. Right. Shall you write the other question? Look at this study guide. Now please take a bit of time. Here you see. Yes. Right. But now please take out this question. Following are some environment factors associated with business. Categorize them into strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. And as external and internal, controllable and uncontrollable. First one is done for you. First one, for example. Now look at the first one. I'm going to do the first one for you. Political instability of the country. Favorable economic policy. It is external. Favorable economic policies, it is external. And as it is favorable, it is an opportunity. As it is favorable, it is an opportunity. You see, economic policy cannot be controlled by the business. So that it is uncontrollable. Next one. I am doing the second one as well for you. Political instability, not stability, instability. It is external. It is not an opportunity. It is a threat. Here you can write this as threat. Political instability, once again, uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. You can write here as uncontrollable. Right. Now please start doing this exercise. You see different type of factors. How is it internal or external? Threat, opportunity, weakness, or threat, opportunity, weakness, or strength. Right. Now let's discuss a bit. You see next one. Look at next one. Conflict situation. Gatumkaritatva. External threat. Uncontrollable. External conflict situation can gatumak. It is external threat. Uncontrollable. Lack of sound leadership. Honda nayakatyak ne. Intern. We are part of the organization. Organization honda leadership intern. Weakness. It can be readjusted. Weakness. Uncontrollable. If it is a weakness, it can be controllable. Good business plan. Intern. Good business plan. Honda vyapara sarasmak. Intern. It is a strength. Controllable. It can be controlled. What is it? Strength. Internal. Strength. Shaktiya. Controllable. Weakness in decision making. Weakness in decision making. Internal. Weakness. Controllable. Controllable. Strict laws and regulations in the country. External threat. Uncontrollable. This cannot be controlled by the business. We are just discussing about business. Let's move on another 5. Look at that next one. Weakness in decision making. We have considered it as weakness in decision making is concerned. That is internal, and then it is a weakness, and then controllable. It can be corrected. Next one, increase in child population. Strict laws and regulations in the country. It is external, cannot be controlled. And then it is a threat. and cannot be controlled. Next one, increasing child population. Child population increasing is external. It can be controlled by the business. It cannot be controlled by the business. And increasing child population is an opportunity for business, because you see preschools will be developed, and you see various items used by children, purchase for children would be increased. It is favorable. So that opportunity. And uncontrollable, it cannot be controlled by the business. It cannot be controlled by the business. Child population increasing cannot be controlled by a business. Inefficient employees, it is internal, can be controlled. Inefficient employees can be controlled. They can be given training, they can be given a kind of development, they can be educated, they can be warned, so that it is internal. And then it is a weakness. Inefficiency as it is weakness. Weakness. If the item is wrong, write the correct one. Weakness. Uncontrollable, no, it is controllable. It can be controlled. It can be controlled, because by how can we control? They can be given training. They can be given a warning. They can be given salary increment, you see, to make them efficient. Having a good leadership, it is internal. Business is concerned internal. Internal of what? Strength. It is a strength. Strength. And then controllable. It is controllable. As it is internal, if all internal factors can be controllable. International influences. External, we are unable to control it. Now China's influence, China's interference nowadays, we are unable to control it. Businesses are unable to control it. And it is a threat. It is uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. Favorable rules for business. It is external. External. Then opportunity. Favorable as it is favorable, opportunity. Uncontrollable. Can be controlled by the business. Lack of proper plan. On the Sarath name. Lack of proper plan. Internal. Internal. As it is internal, unfavorable. Negative. Negative. A weakness. It's a weakness. Controllable. Can be controlled by the business. Natural disasters. Subhavikahan. External. COVID cannot be controlled by the business. COVID cannot be controlled by the business. It is a natural disaster. It is said that. Then threat. Threat. Uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. Increasing women in employment. Kantau rakyagati cannot be controlled, so that external. External. Then opportunity, because you see, if women are going for working places, they consume more. You know that in the society. If I ask a question, then who consume a lot in the society? Males or females? Yes, come on. Females are consuming more in the society, or males are consuming? It is female. So that if females are going for job, they use, you see, different colors, different items, different models. You see, as not as males. Males can use the same dress for 2-3 days, but females are not that. So that they consume more and more. So that you see, increasing women in employment is kind of external. It cannot be controlled by the business. It is external, and then it is an opportunity. Opportunity. And uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. Existence of peace. Same pravati. External. Opportunity. Uncontrollable. Use of internet facility. You can treat it as ක්‍රම දෙකකටම හිතන්න පුළුවන්. Use of internet facility. If the business uses internet facilities, it is internal. It is internal. If you that think of in that manner, if the business uses internal facilities, it is internal. Internal strength and controllable. You may have decided that you see availability of internal facilities in the vicinity, in the background. If you think into that in that manner, it is kind of external. If it is external, it is opportunity and uncontrollable. Admiring local products, it is external. Opportunity, uncontrollable. Increasing child population, same, repeated. No matter external, opportunity, uncontrollable. Having a vision and mission, that much මෙහෙවරක් තියෙනවා ආයතන. Internal vision, දැක්ම, mission, මෙහෙවර ප්‍රකාශ, මෙහෙවර. Internal strength, controllable. Devoted employees, බොහොම කැප වෙන උනන්දුවක් තියෙන සේවකයෝ ඉන්නවා. Internal strength, controllable. Internal strength, controllable. Let's move on to this part. Proper financial management. හොඳ මූල්‍ය කළමනාකරණයක් තිබීම. It's a kind of internal strength, controllable. Internal strength, next one, use of quality raw materials, strength. So internal strength, controllable. Internal strength, controllable. Lack employer relation. Lack employee relation. Save සම්බන්ධ අඩු. Internal weakness. Controllable. Right. So now we discuss those factors. Now here so far we have discussed. You see different external environment factors. Look at that example. Political environment. Here opportunities, look at that. If the favorable fiscal policies are there, development of infrastructure, political instability, these are opportunities. These are called opportunities. Now, unfavorable fiscal policy, lack of proper infrastructure, political instability, දේශපාලන අස්ථාවරභාවය, these are what? Threats. Legal environment is concerned. Legal stability, if there is a legal stability, නීති ස්ථාවර බවක් තියෙනවා නම්, sound legal infrastructure, හොඳ නෛතික යටිතල පහසුකම්, මේ කියන්නේ උසාවි ක්‍රමේ නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන විදිහ හොඳයි නම් අපි කියනවා මොකක්ද? opportunity. Legal instability, නීතියේ හිදස් තියෙනවා, හරියට නැහැ, පැහැදිලි නැහැ. Poor legal infrastructure, උසාවියට කියලා සාධාරණයක් ඉෂ්ට වෙන්නේ නැහැ. No justification can be seen in presence of court system. Unthreatic. Technological environment, availability of new technology. අපිට නව තාක්ෂණය තියෙනවා, නව තාක්ෂණය වගේ දියුණු තාක්ෂණ. Ability to adapt new technology. ඒ නව තාක්ෂණයට අපිට ගැලපෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා මොනවද? opportunities. Lack of new technology. නව තාක්ෂණය නෑ අපිට. එම්නම් threat. Instability of to develop, inability to develop, adapt new technology. අලුත් තාක්ෂණයට හැඩ ගැහෙන්න බෑ. තාම සම්ප්‍රදායන් එක්කම යන්නේ. එමුණොත් ඒක threat එක. Economic environment වල technology, economic environment. Look at that, economic environment. Look at that. Favorable interest rate. On the Yapa Poli Anupatia. Opportunity. New job opportunities. Equal income distribution. Saman Adha Vyapti Hudai. Sound internal relations. On the international relations. On the Antar Sambandhyati no Ratwalik. Favorable. High saving rate. Iturum Vadianti no Ratatulu. Honda. And you see weak flexible unfavorable exchange rate. Now we are facing that unfavorable exchange rate. අපේ විනිමය අනුපාතය ඩොලරයක් ගන්න රුපියල් 212ක් විතර වියදම් කරන්න. ඉස්සර තුනේ ඩොලරයකට රුපියල් 60ක් 70ක් වගේ තිබුණා. ඩොලර් එකක් මිලදී ගන්න. ඒසත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? oil නේද? We have to pay a lot of rupees to purchase oil. We have to pay a lot of rupees to purchase wheat, to purchase all imported products. That is a serious problem, because why? When we pay high amount, high prices for you see imported goods within the market, we have to purchase them for high prices. Then අපි ඩොලරයක් සඳහා වැඩියෙන් රුපියල් ගෙවපුවාම එන ඊළඟ ප්‍රතිපාක මොකක්ද? රට තුල නේද? අපි ඒ බහන්නේ මිල ඉහිලයක්. ඒත් වැඩි මිලක් රට තුල මිනිස්සුන්ට ගන්න වෙනවා. අන්න inflation. That is what we call inflation. That is why nේද? We have to pay much dollars. We have to pay much rupees for purchasing dollars. So that when we import oil, we have to pay high amount of rupees. And then in the local market, what happens is that we have to pay high prices for oil. In the same way, when we import some wheat flour, අපි තිරුගු පිටි මිලදී ගන්නකොට import කරන පිට රටින් ගේනකොට we have to pay much of rupees for dollar. Then what happened in Sri Lankan local market? In Sri Lanka local market, we have to pay more rupees for wheat flours. Then price increases. That is what happened in the market today. Unfavorable exchange rate, unfavorable interest rate, පොලි අනුපාත අයහපත් වීම, lack of employment, රැකියා නැහැ, ඒ නිසා තරුණෝ විදේශගත වෙනවා. Unequal income distribution වල දන්නවා නේද? කන එක්කෙනා කාගෙන යනවා, නැති එක්කෙනා බඩගින්න ඉන්නවා. Poor becomes poorer, rich become richer. That is the result of unequal income distribution. That is the result of unequal income distribution. Poor, you see, poor international relations. We are facing various external problems nowadays. Because why? You see, in one hand, China is interfering into our, you see, local problems. America is interfering into our internal problems. Even India is interfering into our internal problems. Because why? We are not having a stabilized international relations. You see, poor international relations. Low saving rates. You see, low saving rate is not a problem. Now you see, the other one is global environment. ගෝලීය පරිසරය. බලන්නකෝ, what are the opportunities? Possibility to obtain latest technology. It is favorable. It is because of the globalization. You and I use these computers, because in Sri Lanka we are unable to produce any computer so far, any mobile phone so far. Do you see any locally product mobile phones? No. Do you see any locally product tab? No. Do you see any locally product computers? No. Because of globalization, we are able to consume these type of new technological instruments. That is a kind of favorable opportunity. And then possibility to obtain quality raw materials. We are able to use quality raw materials, because imported raw materials are used by us. It is favorable for us. And then possibility to obtain efficient machines. You see, there are some machines which are highly efficient. In Sri Lankan local market, we are unable to produce all these machines. So that you see, we Sri Lankans consume lot of high quality machines because of globalization. Understand? You look at the Japanese vehicles are concerned. You see, now in Sri Lanka, that is micro institute, micro organization. They are, you see, doing some local vehicles. They are manufacturing, but you see, these are not high quality as people think. So that we are able to consume high quality items because of globalization. Inflow of foreign capital. Inflow of foreign capital. Because of globalization, foreign capital is coming into Sri Lanka. It is favorable for us unless we are facing high scarcity of foreign capital. Possibility to find foreign market. We are able to find out a foreign market. That is why young people, when they are unable to find out opportunities for job in Sri Lanka, that is why people are going out of the country, finding out new employment opportunities. And there are some threats as well. There are some threats as well. What are them? Creating highly competitive environment. Now you see, due to imported products, high quality products, local marketers, local business people are unable to compete with these high quality products. So that what happened is that local marketers, local business people, they fall down in presence of high quality imported products. That is a problem. You see, now look at local produce some items. You see, clay related items. What happened? Because of imported plastic materials. And then domestic skilled workers migrating to foreign countries. You see, highly educated people. Most of young educated people are going out of the country because of this globalization. That is why I told you. Now look at the presence of foreign employment bureaus, foreign employment institutes. A lot of young people are in the queue with the intention of going out of the country. It is not favorable. It is not favorable to the country. As young people are, you see, most important for country. You see, little children, and if little children and all people remain in the country, what would happen to the country? Only the you see, middle-aged people or old people and children and women, they are remaining in the country. Then how can we do some development in the country? Because young people are the blood of the nation. Instability of existence of domestic business, the other problem. Instability. Asthavara bhave, desi vyapar. Now look at that. බලනකොට අපේ උදාහරණයක් විදිහට විදේශීය භාණ්ඩ ආපුවම අපේ අර ඉස්සර තිබුණා දේශීය දොඩම් නේද? නාරා ගස් ලැබුවා කියවට මොකද උනේ කියලා. නේද? දේශීය ව්‍යාපාර එහෙම් පිටින් විදිනවා. අත්‍යන්ත පේශ කර්මාන්තය වගේව නේද? කඩා වැටෙනවා. අන්න domestic businesses are falling down in presence of globalization. It is a serious problem. Negative changes in local culture. You see, local indigenous culture is highly affected due to globalization. You see, some foreign cultural values may not be suitable for our culture. In our culture, so that those cultural values, when they are coming into Sri Lanka, it would create some cultural problems within the country. රට තුල සංස්කෘතික ප්‍රශ්නයක්. දවල දන්නවනේ පෞගේ දවසවල ඔය බුදුන් වහන්සේ නැත්නම් බුදු පිළිම උඩ ෆොරිනර්ස්ලා ඉඳගෙන නේද? ඒ වගේ නැත්නම් එයාලගේ අර සංස්කෘතික අංග සමානට අපේ රටවල් වලට ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. බටහිර සංස්කෘතිය. Some type of problems we are facing. නේද? අපේ අයත් ඊට පස්සේ ඒවට අනුගත වෙලා සමාජෙ අර ස්පොයිල් වෙන එක. මෙන්න මේ කාරණාත් අපි සලකන්න ඕන කාරණා. Just keep it in mind that we have to pay attention global environment, negative impacts as well as the positive impact as well as the negative impact of globalization. Right. Here, once again, you look at that. I'm just practicing the school guidebook as well as the study guidebook so that you can understand. Now you see these, internal environmental parties. Look at that. All these are internal environmental parties of a school. For example, you see, And there are some internal environment parties are concerned. There are strengths and weaknesses. Now look at the strengths. All these are strength related to teachers, strength related to principal and management team, strength related to resources, strength related to school culture, strength related to structure, and then weaknesses. So that keep in mind, we study internal environment to identify strengths and weaknesses, as well as we study external environment. You see, all these are external environmental factors. You know that all these are external environmental factors. We study external environment to identify opportunities and threats. Now, these are some examples for threats related to each external environmental factor. And then here, opportunities related to each environmental factor. You keep it in mind and understand well by reading them out. You see, now these are example for internal environment related to a school. And then when you study the internal environment, you can identify some strengths and weaknesses. These are some strengths related to each internal environment party. And these are some weaknesses related to internal environmental party. Then you study this. Now external environment parties, you see, external environment parties are not controllable by the business, customers, competitors, that type of things. You see, and then we did this as well. Now we have to start, and after discussing this lesson, we have to start the third lesson, that is business organization. Then business organization is also very important, and that is what we call the last lesson of this term. You see, global, then we have to discuss further positive impact of global environment and negative impact of global environment. And then there is an activity. You see, there is some activities. Then after discussing these environment factors, we are yet to finish that lesson. And then you see, look at that. Then our target is to, yes, importance of studying business environment. Why do we study the business environment? Look at some example. The following are some examples for strengths and weaknesses. Already we have learned. You see, you can understand some weak strengths. You can study some weaknesses, and then you see related questions are there. Then you see, observe strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in a business in your area and complete the table. Then you can select one of business familiar to you. Select one of the business familiar to you, and then name it first, and then name the business institute that you have selected. Maybe Samudra Book House, maybe Sarath Book House, maybe People's Bank, maybe Sampath Bank, maybe your school, whatever the institute, no matter. And then you can identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats related to the business that you have selected. Understand? Now, for example, you have selected now in the hospital, for example, strength, availability of needed medical items, then availability of qualified doctors. It is a strength. Weakness, non-availability of enough space for patients. Example, opportunity, situated in the heart of town. Opportunity. Threats, you see, having competitor like set 7. Threats, you see, threats. And then having high competitors. Now, for example, if you take Sarath bookshop, availability of variety of books, strength, weakness, non-availability of some books, weakness, opportunity, situated in the town, and then see availability of good readers in the area, opportunity, threat, availability of competitive businesses. In that manner, you can complete this grid as well. Understand? And then you see there is another activity. You see, 5 domestic global environment changes, that type of things. Importance of, now you see, with that we are going to finish that lesson. So that most probably next week we are going to finish the lesson 2, and we are going to start lesson 3, business organization. Then business organization is the last lesson of this first term. And after doing part of business organization, we are going to discuss some past papers related to the first term continuous. Understand? 2008, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 first term papers can be discussed. Then you can improve your knowledge thoroughly by studying those past papers as well.